Okay, hi everyone. Today I'm going to do a slightly different video journal. I'm in Dubai at the moment. I flew in last night. I'm pretty jet lagged because the time zone is the total opposite of what I left in LA. And this is my last country before I head back into Australia. But I thought that I would do a video journal today on what it's like being a type 1 diabetic travelling solo or backpacking solo around the world. And I've been thinking about doing it for a while, and I just haven't had the opportunity. So now this is my perfect chance. And so, like I said, I am probably the majority of people who have been watching and don't know me wouldn't be aware. But I am a type 1 diabetic. I have been since I was a child, so 25 years or so, I think, 26 years, 25, 26. So pretty much forever, pretty much my whole life. And so when I started to think about this, sorry, the internet just kicked on in there. There we go. When I started to think about doing this leaving my life to backpack around the world, it was never, to me, it was never something that would stop me. I just had to figure out how to make it happen. So yeah, I was never going to be, oh, I can't, I'm a diabetic, I just can't. No, I've never lived my life like that. This is just something that I have to deal with, and it has to fit in around my regular life. Like it's just something extra that I have to think about. So when I was trying to organise what I was going to do, thinking about it, I looked for as much help as I could find, and I tried diabetic forums, and I asked the doctors, and I asked diabetic educators and things like that. And unfortunately, nobody could give me a straight answer on anything. At first, I was thinking that I might, because I was going to be travelling for almost 9 months, I was like, oh, that's okay, maybe I can just take some scripts and I can get the insulin while I'm away. And I'm going to be in the UK, and I'm going to be in the US, and I'm going to be in Europe, and I'm going to be in Asia, and things like that. So maybe there are a couple of key countries that I can refill and I can restock. And I tried to get as much information as I could on Australian getting a script and is the insulin available in these countries and things like that. And it was like coming up against a brick wall every single time, and nobody could give me a straight answer. I tried to call Diabetes Australia, and unfortunately nobody knew, because I didn't know anyone that had done this. And then I started to think, okay, well, maybe I can get my mum, who'll be at home in Australia, maybe I can get her to post me some insulin, because I'm on the pen. I'm on 2 different types of pen, or 2 different types of insulin that I take via the pen. I'm not on the pump. And I thought, well, maybe she can package it up and post it. So I contacted Australia Post, who told me to contact Customs, who told me to go back and contact Australia Post. And so Diabetes Australia told me to contact Customs. So that, it was like just going around in a circle, and nobody could give me a straight answer. I had no idea. So I contacted a couple of my friends who live in the US and said, what do you think the chances are? I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do. Can I get needles? Could I get pen needles? Could I get insulin in the US? And one of them wrote back to me and was like, this is America, the home of diabetes. I'm sure that you could get something. Which was probably true. Like I could probably get the pen needles and things like that. But I decided in the end that it was just too much trouble. And the easiest thing to do was to take it all with me. Because I may always have that emergency situation where something happens, like by bringing it all with me, something might go wrong. An insulin vial might break, I might lose my luggage, I might lose the stack of needles that I've got, something could go wrong, and then I would have to deal with the situation of how do I acquire these things overseas. But I thought, well, I'm backpacking. If I take it all with me, it's fine. I've got it all. I'm a careful traveller. I don't lose anything when I travel. I am always like completely, I guess, a little bit paranoid, just making sure everything is there, where it is, what it's doing. So that's what I did. I just brought it all with me. So, oh, the internet's annoying. Sorry, it keeps popping up. So this is what I thought I'd show you how I did it. So I have just my regular backpack. So I have a large blue backpack that I've lugged around the world. And this has been my main supply of pen needles. So I got this at Kathmandu. It's one of their what's it called? Pack and go cell pack things. And before I left, I took 700 pen needles with me. 700, 7 boxes full. And they all fit in here. And I still have, I don't know if you can see it there, I still have probably, there'd probably be 100 or so left. And again, I knew that some people reuse their needles. That's not something that appeals to me at all. I was going through Asia and I was going through these different countries, and it's not necessarily overly clean, and there's for me, I inject 5 times a day. I have 5 injections a day, and I would use 3 needles a day, clean. And so that's because I do 2 injections first thing in the morning. I'll use the same needle for both. Then I'll do 1 at lunch, and that'll be a new needle. And then I'll do 2 again at dinner, and that'll be the same needle. I will sometimes repeat the use of a needle, like maybe 2 or 3 times, just if I don't have any new ones in my smaller pack that I carry with me, and things like that. But the idea of continuously using a needle until it goes blunt, and it's like exposed, like when you open it at the end, it's exposed. So I'll get one out in a minute. That doesn't appeal to me at all, and I don't want to risk infection and things like that. So I prefer, for me, to try and use a new one as often as I can, which meant that I had to pack 700. Plus, like, that was it, plus some spares. And it's been fine. Like, they all, like I said, they all fit in this pack. And not only that fit, but I also have, I have the box, like, just in case, because I wasn't sure if how many times I would be picked up for carrying this and if I needed to prove why I had it. So I have the original box that I folded flat. There it is. And I've carried that in this pack as well. I also have in here, what do I have here? I have a small thing of finger pricking needles, just a small bag. I almost never test my sugar level. It's really bad, I know. Diabetic educators, doctors, sorry. But I just don't do it. I can feel it. I can feel how I feel how I feel. I know how I feel. I know, certainly if I'm not sure, then I will. But, yeah, I just don't. So I have this whole stack of, like, test strips for, what type, I don't even know what type of machine I have. Well, I don't even know. It's floating around somewhere. I'm not even sure. But I have got so many of these that next time I need like a quarter, because I just didn't do it. Because that's my lifestyle at home. Whenever you do at home, you've got to repeat on the road. And so, yeah, so that's what I had. I also have in here, which luckily I haven't had to use, Hydrolite. Quite a few packets of this Hydrolite powder, just in case I ever became sick and I couldn't eat and I couldn't cope. This is what I would use. But luckily for me, it didn't happen. In the almost 9 months that I've been travelling, yes, I've been sick a couple of times, but I've never been vomiting sick, and I've never been so unwell that I couldn't eat or anything like that. So I'm really lucky that that's the case. And then as well as that, I also have cholesterol tablets, which the doctor just has me on. So I pack those as well. So all of that fit into this, plus the 700 needles I left originally, so the bag was like pretty chockers. But that, internet thing, but that fit in to my backpack, and I just slid it on in. So that was really easy. So that was the needles and stuff like that I've just taken with me, and I haven't had a problem. I haven't been pinged on it. Yeah, that's fine. So other than that, I have my, so this is my everyday travel pack safe bag. This is a specific travel bag where it has, you can probably, I don't know if you can see, it's like lined with mesh. It has a slash proof strap. This is the best. It has like the lock that locks into the zip, locks into it to prevent, if you can see that, to prevent pickpockets from getting into the bag, so it locks. This thing is the best, and this has now been around the world, came overseas with me 3 years ago, and it's now been through this time. It really needs to go through the washing machine, but this, I wouldn't do without it. This is my lifeline. So in this bag that I take everywhere, I literally have my life in this bag. And as a part of that, I have, sorry, I'll pull everything out, camera, purse, map. I get lost over all the time anyway, I'm not going to map, probably not to do that much. And insulin pack. Oh shit. Insulin pack, this is what I have. So this is what I carry with me all the time. So I have my 2 pens, I have the small pocket here that has some needles that have been used, and some that are, some that are brand new. And that's what this is what I have with me all the time. I'm never without it, never ever. And then also in this bag, luckily for me everything just slots in, I have my lollies. I always have some kind of lollies or something that I can get. It's really easy everywhere in the world to find like your gummy lollies, your Haribo type things, or if you're out, it's easy to buy soft drink, Coca-Cola. Everywhere says Coca-Cola. I've found that I've always been able to find some type of sugar on the road somewhere. Like yes, sometimes I need to plan ahead a little bit. Like the other day when I was bike riding through Mexico from Tulum, I said to Eros when we were on the bikes, where are we going, out to the Mayan temples? And I said, are there shops out there? Is there anything? And he was like, no, there's not really. And I said, okay, then I need to buy a Coke that I can take with me and put in my basket that I can sip on as we go, because I knew this was going to be a challenging day. It was hot. I don't ride bikes very often. I was going to be riding it for hours. It was, yeah, and my sugar level had been pretty kind of low anyway, and so I was like, okay, I just need to, I had the lollies in my bag, but I needed some kind of energy to keep me going. So it was fine. So we were able to get like I was able to buy a Coke, put it in the basket, and I had to drink hot Coke, and I had to drink hot Coke. Like, that's fine. I'm not gonna, my life isn't gonna be interrupted from this. So yeah, so that's what I have in my regular bag, and then I also have, and then I also have this smaller backpack that I carry. This is my carry-on luggage for the plane. So I carry this on the front. So I have my large backpack on my back. I have the smaller one on my front, and then in here is where I kept all of my insulin. And I brought all of the insulin for almost 9 months overseas. Brought all of it with me. And people have said to me along the way, wait a minute, don't you have to keep it in the fridge? Apparently not. The pharmacist, the chemist, before I left, I was able to get everything in bulk. I asked my doctor if she could give me enough scripts so that I would be able to get everything for 9 months in bulk, which she did. And the pharmacist gave it to me and said, "Oh shit," and said, "Okay, make sure you keep this refrigerated. Just make sure you get it in the fridge within an hour." I looked at her and I said, "Oh, I'm about to backpack around the world for 9 months. This isn't going to be refrigerated for 9 months." To which she kind of looked at me as if I'd lost my crazy freaking mind. But what am I going to do? The majority of hostels that I'm in, I don't have a fridge to put it in. I certainly, I could leave it. The ones that have a kitchen will have a food fridge where people stock up on all their food, but I'm not comfortable leaving. This is literally my life, and I'm not comfortable leaving my life in some hostel fridge where people just randomly go in and out, and hopefully your food doesn't get stolen, but you never know. I won't leave my life in there. In Asia, certainly in some of the hotels, when I first started and it was really hot, yes, there was a small minibar fridge in the room, and that was handy because it was warmer, but I would have to make sure I remembered every day or every second day when we packed up to get my stuff out of the fridge. So I would leave my handbag on the floor in front of the fridge as a reminder to, if I pick up that bag, I have to get the stuff out of the fridge, because it's so easy to leave it behind. It's so easy to just forget. And then, so that was just through in Asia back in May. And then after that, I haven't left it in the fridge. I have a fridge here in the room. I think it's probably worse for the insulin to go in and out of the fridge. I've just left it out and I haven't had a problem. It's been fine. So again, this is my insulin pack. Again, this is a Kathmandu smaller cell go pack thing. That's it. And it's worked fantastically well. So in here, I have, and actually the first thing that is here is I have a coolant bag that I got as part of a diabetic cool bag from the diabetic educator at the hospital, who was able to give it to me, so I just took it out. And I've used this a couple of times. Like if I'm going into a warm weather, I will put this into the freezer overnight, put it in there to try and keep it that little bit cooler, especially for Asia where it was like 90% humidity and 40 degrees Celsius. That's pretty warm, so I did try to keep everything a little bit cooler. So that lives in here. And then I have, which have now kind of popped out of their packages somewhat, I have my vials of insulin. Oh, that's an empty one. Chuck that one in the bin. And that's an empty packet. Ditch that one. So these are. This is how I've kept it. Yes, some of them are open at the back because this has been through some rough treatment living in here. But yeah, I have the two types of insulin that I'm on, which, oh, that's interesting. I actually already have, wow, that worked out well. I've just discovered, I'll be back in Australia, I'm flying there in 2 days. Wow, I calculated that perfectly. I have 1 vial left of long-acting insulin, and I have 4 vials left of short-acting insulin. That's it. And I haven't got any more on the road. So I've been travelling for 8.5 months, and wow, my maths was good. I calculated that pretty much perfectly. So, and I haven't really deviated from that. My dosage hasn't really changed. Shit. Yes, I have some more of the short-acting ones. Yes, I have some more of the short-acting insulin, which is good. So if anything happened with the long-acting, then I can just dose myself up. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my own calculations. That's the last one, and I'm back in Australia in 2 days. So yeah, so that's what I have in here. I also have a couple of alcohol wipes, just in case. A bag, an emergency spare bag of pen needles, just in case I lost my main luggage and something went wrong. I also have, which I was recommended by the diabetic educator, some regular syringes. So these are regular, just regular syringes, which I haven't used in forever. Just in case something happened and a pen broke, or I lost a pen or something like that. Having said that, I do actually also have 2 spare pens in my regular bag, separate, so they're just in a little container, one of each. I have a spare one of one of each. Because I carry those ones that I use every day in my handbag, I, just as an emergency thing, in my regular backpack, big luggage, chucked 1 spare of each. And thankfully I haven't had to use it, which has been really good. So that's what I have in there. I also have scripts from the doctor, just in case I needed to get any of these things on the road. I have the scripts in case of an emergency. I have a gluconin injection, also in case of an emergency, which also, again, I haven't had to make use of. Nobody really knows about that, so that's more like I heard a story from the doctor saying that he was on a plane once, and he noticed that a woman sitting there was having a diabetic hypo, and he wanted to help her, so he went into her bag, went through her stuff, and found a gluconin injection to help her with. And so he said, just carry it with you on your carry-on. Someone will go through and someone will have a look. I also have the boxes for the 2 lots of insulin that I carry, flat, just in case. Because they're not packed in their original boxes, I just brought them just in case. I haven't needed them. I haven't had to pull them out. But you never know. And I've never done this before, so how do I know until I do it? So that's everything that I have in that little pack, which is always stored in here. Always. And I know that this is where it is. I have that with me at all times. I just thought of something else that I have and I can't. Oh, bracelet. Okay, so I never wore one of these before I left. I never wore this Medic Alert bracelet before I left Australia. I haven't worn one for years. Since I was a little child, I haven't worn one. I don't like them. I don't like being branded. I feel like this is something that brands me as being a diabetic and having this issue, and I really don't like that. However, my mum said to me, Carly, you are not leaving this country unless you wear one of those bracelets. She's like, no, I'm putting my foot down. This is the one thing I'm putting my foot down on. And I can understand that. So it is certainly because I am travelling around the world by myself. I can get into a situation where people just don't know what's going on. Certainly if I have this on my wrist, there is that little bit more safety there. Like if someone notices it, then okay, they understand. So, so I got it. Again, luckily for me, I haven't needed it. I haven't had any major, I haven't had any really majorly severe diabetic incidents while I've been away. I am very careful. Like I always have my stuff with me, and I think because I am travelling around the world alone, I need to be that little bit more careful. So just with things like I said, I always have the lollies with me. I always have that kind of regular diabetic thinking of what have I had for breakfast, what am I going to eat for lunch, where am I going to get this food, what, do I need a Coke, do I need to get some Coke now, okay, can I substitute this by having some more sugar, and what am I, like that kind of extra level of commentary that goes through a diabetic's mind that is additional to what just most people think. Things like I'm not a big drinker. Like I'm not a huge alcohol drinker. Certainly on this trip, I have certainly drunk a significant amount, but I will look at the situation first. So because I'm traveling by myself, if I'm with like a tour group and I'm with a group of people that I can let go and I can relax and they're aware that I'm a diabetic and we're all staying in the same place and they kind of won't necessarily be left behind and things like that, then yeah, I'll relax and I'll have a few drinks, that's fine. If I'm with people that I've just met and we go out and we have fun and we have a few drinks, yeah. But I probably won't drink as much because they have no responsibility to me to make sure that I get home fine. Like I've just met them a couple of hours ago and we go out, I won't drink so much. Having said that, I celebrated my birthday in New York about at the end of October, so it's like 10 weeks ago or so. And my friend Cara, who I became very good friends with after meeting her on tour, was there with me, and I let loose. I absolutely let loose, and I paid for it the next day. But she was there with me, and then the next day when things weren't good and my sugar level was really, really low, and thank goodness I had like a caramel apple next to me that I could literally just munch on to wake up, to make sure I waked up properly. And then I was able to message Cara and say, look, can you message me in an hour? I'm going back to sleep just to make sure I wake back up because I'm not feeling too well. And so she freaked out and was like, wait, what? Do you need me to come? No, it's fine. I just need somebody else to know what's going on. And I was in a hostel at that time, so I gave her my hostel room and said, look, if you don't get a response from me, you might need to call the hostel and send someone up and find out what's going on. It was a safety measure. I didn't need it. I was fine. So that's what I have the bracelet. It says on it diabetes, T1 on insulin, Australian, and then my number. I don't know if you can read that. And a few people have looked at it and said to me, really, you put Australian on there? I'm like, well, if I'm in a country, if I'm in Italy and something's going wrong, they're trying to speak to me in Italian, I'm not answering them because I don't know Italian. They look on here, see that I'm Australian, I'm like, oh, okay. So immediately they know, one, I speak English, two, if something happens, they can like contact, I need to get to an Australian embassy, there's something kind of here, they can find another Australian who can talk to me, something like that. A lot can be found out. And the other thing is, it worked really well for me the other week when I was in Santa Monica a week or so ago. I went up to the hostel, checked in. I've been flying all day, coming in from, I don't even remember, I don't know, I came in from somewhere. Checked into the hostel and the bracelet fell off of my wrist when I was standing at reception, and I didn't even realise it had fallen off. The thing just came undone and it just fell off. And I just went up to my room, and then 15 minutes later, there's a knock on the dorm room, and the woman who had checked in at reception, she was like, "Is this yours?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, thank you. Where was that?" And she was like, "It was on the ground." And I looked at it, and it said Australian. And I thought to myself, hang on, I've just checked in Australian. I'm wondering if that's hers. Yes. So for me, that worked really well, because she was like, oh yeah, I just checked an Australian in. That says Australian, it must be hers. So it bounced back to me. So that worked really well. I'm trying to think of what else I take and what else I do to try and help other people who are thinking about doing this, who have done this, or want to do this, and that's kind of it. Like this isn't something that stood in my way. Being a diabetic, it's just a part of who I am. It will never stop me from doing anything. It just means that sometimes I need to think a little bit more about it. But yeah, taking everything myself, being fully responsible for everything that I have with me, just having it easily packed and knowing where stuff is, and yeah, just being normal has worked completely well for me. So yeah, so hopefully this video will help some other people. If you have questions, just write them on the blog, and I'm happy to answer what I did and how I did it. So yeah, I thought that I would make this video because hopefully I can help somebody else, because I looked on so many places that I could think of, and I just couldn't find the information that I was after, and nothing was able to help me, so I had to figure it out for myself. So yeah, hopefully this gives you some advice and help, if you're looking for it. Okay, done. Bye.